Do you dream of writing a novel? When you feel the urgency to write a novel, you aren't making it up. When that urgency won't let go, there's a reason. Turn your readers into raving fans. Reveal the power of your voice and your story. Writing is an act of courage, and you have what it takes. How to Write a Novel That Sells by Lana McAra will take you across the finish line. Visit howtowriteanovelthatsells.net and take that powerful next step now.
Welcome to the Fiction Writers Podcast with Lana McAra, where you will discover tips, tricks, and ideas for fiction that is #unputdownable. Here you'll find new energy, new perspectives, new resources, and new ideas that will spark your creativity into a blaze of brilliance. It's easier than you think. Be sure you visit our website at www.fictionwriterspodcast.com. While you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now, get out your notebook, tune in, and let's get started.
How do you know which scenes to spend a lot of time on and which ones you can just kind of gloss over? That's what we're going to talk about today. Welcome to the Fiction Writers Podcast, tips, tricks, and ideas for fiction that is #unputdownable. When you're writing a fiction story, you're putting together scenes. Your scenes are like pearls, and you string them together, and you put them together with transitions in between. Each scene is a mini story in itself, and they go string together. You could have 40 or 50 scenes in a book. So how do you know which scenes to really take your time with and expand on and go into all those details? Well, which ones are important to the story? I was watching or listening, I should say, to a book on my audiobook, because that's what I do in the car. I listen to audiobooks. And this book had this scene about this false alarm fire at a theater. And someone yelled fire, and there was a stampede, and people were crushed, and all of that. Well, that scene went on for 10 to 15 pages. Every single detail of that scene about what it smelled like, what people were doing, how they were couldn't breathe, and on, the details of minute details, until finally I actually said out loud, why is this taking so long to get through this scene? It wasn't pleasant, and it just seemed to be labored. Well, I found out later that this was a pivotal scene in the character development. The woman, who was a little girl in the story at this point, she was the main character, and this was a trauma that would come up later. So how do you know which scenes to focus on and give all those details, the minutia about what happened? Well, it's how important is it in the book. So as you're constructing your scenes and you're thinking about your plot and your character development, because your plot and your character development wind together, right? They wind together. The plot influences the character, and the character influences the plot. So as you're putting that together, your thought is, this is an important event in my character's life and in the book's life. So I'm going to spread this out. I'm going to expand it. I'm going to show everything that I can here and get in what I need to get in. If the scene is not so important, it's kind of a journey on the way to the next thing that happens, then you can trim it down, make it exposition. It looks like a scene, but actually it's a transition, and it might only be 2 paragraphs. You're just taking the person from the previous scene to the next one, using this little bit of time, this little bit of passageway to the next thing. And then you can do more telling. You can do more overview, because it's not critical to the story or to the character development. So how important is your scene? That will give you the answer about whether you should show or tell. I hope that helps you today. My name is Lana McAra. See you next time.
Thank you for tuning into the Fiction Writers Podcast with Lana McAra, where we share tips, tricks, and ideas for fiction that is #unputdownable. Remember to visit our website at www.fictionwriterspodcast.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're here, subscribe to us via your favorite network. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Fiction Writers Podcast.